Okay, well, we are here to help everyone better understand what CPQ is. So joining us now, we have NetSuite Product Marketing Director, Austin Caldwell, and Verenia founder, Vic Pellicano. Hey, Austin. Hey, Vic.
Hey.
It's good to see you. Now, like Kendall said, a big announcement from Evan on the stage today about NetSuite CPQ, but while CPQ solutions have become more popular recently, clearly there are some folks who may not understand what it is. So Austin, can you talk about what CPQ does and who it helps?
Yeah, sure. So CPQ stands for Configure, Price, and Quote. So basically what it is a customizable business interface to be able to plug in automatic business rules to be able to configure a product. So being able to plug in pricing, promotions, compatibilities, to be able to do that in an actual interface itself. So a lot of companies are using that for manufacturing purposes, they're selling directly to consumers. There's definitely a lot of different use cases for a CPQ.
Got it. And on stage, Evan kind of walked through with a little animation playing some of the challenges and what it looks like before a solution like this. Can you outline some of the common challenges that companies have in this area?
Yeah, sure. So a CPQ is really built for sales teams and for direct consumers to be able to leverage it, right? So for sales, a lot of the challenges that a sales rep would actually face would be delivering accurate quotes and being able to put together complex configurations, right? So sales reps usually would have to, maybe if you're working as a manufacturer, a lot of the times you have to maybe work with an actual engineer to go kind of scope all of that out and build like a wind turbine or something like that. And so a lot of it is streamlining the approval process and on top of the actual configuration itself. A sales manager would usually have to approve, discounts and stuff like that. So being able to plug in your promotions and your discount levels allows you to actually kind of streamline a little of that. So you're not having to deal with sales ops, not having to deal with the engineering team. So it basically allows the sales team to sell a lot more, a lot faster. So really any organization that has, more than a handful of sales reps, or for any product that's you can't sell just right off the shelf, CPQ really helps with that.
Fabulous.
So Vic, you actually left your job in manufacturing to start Verenia CPQ, which was acquired by Oracle and is now NetSuite CPQ. You obviously have a very strong belief in this. What gap did you see needed to be filled?
So CPQ systems have been around a very long time, but they were largely function for engineering. So engineers would use them a lot to validate parts and orders. And what we saw was the ability to empower salespeople, dealers, distributors, and there had been some traction in that enabling salespeople over the years, but nobody had reached out to the dealer and distributor networks with the software. So, the ability to configure like a car, that's the most common configurator example, right? Everybody's configured a Tesla or something they like. But that was always just like a custom website. It wasn't like a business tool that could be used and maintained over the years. They would make it 1 year and throw it all away. And we thought if we built a proper CPQ system that could extend to those networks, that we could provide a tool for everybody in the organization that had all the product knowledge, pricing, rules, validations, et cetera, built into it, that could be maintained once and then used by the different way you sell. You sell through B2C channel on your website, your internal reps need one, your dealer and distributors need one, and they have different needs, but the core of the product's the same. So being able to develop that technology that could be maintained in one place but launched to multiple channels was really what we saw didn't exist and that we could fill. And we did, and we launched the system, 2012, 2013, and then we started a partnership with NetSuite a few years later, and obviously that was perfect synergy, right? One system for multiple channel sales. I mean, it just all worked, right? And it was just a beautiful partnership over the years, and eventually ending in the acquisition of the NetSuite CPQ line of business.
Very cool. Well, through your years of experience, what do you see as typically the impetus for companies to start looking into a CPQ solution?
That's a good question. Everybody kind of has different needs. I'd say if your products are customizable, it's usually hard to write a sales order or a quote? Like, how long does that process take? So what I would always tell a prospect is, if somebody comes to you and says, can I get a quote for whatever we're doing here, how long does that take? Is it hard? Does it come out wrong? Do you ship orders wrong because the orders or quotes are written wrong? Do you lose money because the pricing's wrong? CPQ can fix all that, right? Not a perfect fit for every single industry, but that's the core problem set that we can solve for you.
Yeah, and Austin, you talked a little bit just a few minutes ago about how a typical customer might be somebody who has to, where the configuration isn't easy, but Vic was also talking about if you have maybe multiple different use cases like direct to consumer, all the way to distributors and so forth. So what's the typical, what are the types of customers that would get the best use out of CPQ?
Yeah, so B2B companies, really, products or services where you're having sales reps really use any transaction in NetSuite, right? So if they're, building quotes, building estimates, doing sales orders, you're launching CPQ from those records. And so really the sales team, for inside B2B sales is kind of where that's at. But the really awesome thing is that Vic and his team have worked with retailers and people with direct-to-consumer websites where they've actually embedded CPQ, similar to the car example, on their websites to actually work through that configuration, so you're not dealing with the sales rep. And yeah, so for really big companies that have a lot of complex parts and everything, that's a really good user experience as a customer. It's a big differentiator. So it's definitely a differentiator for B2B sales and direct consumers.
Right. And Vic, when you think about the cumulative effect of using CPQ, we've heard a lot of different companies today talk about how much faster they can go, how much money they save, how much time they save. How have you seen businesses succeed with CPQ?
So I lived this, right? Because I was in manufacturing, I was a sales rep. And like the amount of time, so one of our customers, it would take them about 6 months to train a new sales rep when they'd sit them down to the point they could be trusted to put an order in for their customers who spend millions of dollars a year there before they could be trusted to do it accurately. After installing CPQ, the same day they could hire somebody and sit them down and do it. Now what does that do, right? That saves you a little time, that's cool, but it's not that exciting. But what you end up with is happier customers. And that is all we're all here for, right? We all get up in the morning and we try to figure that part out. And when you install a CPQ, your orders are gonna go in faster, your quotes are gonna get done faster, they're gonna be more correct, right? And they're not gonna ship wrong. And if you're a physical product company and something ships wrong, not only, and especially in the supply chain world where everything's 10 weeks late anyway, imagine if it's 10 weeks late and wrong.
Yeah. Been there.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like now you're really upset. Like you were mad you had to wait, but now it's not a good thing. And especially when you have an ongoing relationship with the business, if you're a supplier of a certain thing to a business, if you keep messing up their orders over and over again, you're not going to keep that business very long. So I think the easiest way to say it is CPQ is just going to make your customers happier. It's going to save you money and time and all that, but if the customers aren't happy, nobody's happy, right?
And how does that materially affect the bottom line?
I mean, happier customers should get you more money if you're doing it right, I think, right? I mean, because then they come back, they order more stuff, right? And everything else will work itself out. At least that was my belief.
Yeah, I think you're pretty spot on there. Austin, how does this addition to the suite really drive value for in our customers' investment in NetSuite?
Right. Well, yeah, with CPQ, right, it could be launched from the sales and orders record. So we have a lot of customers that leverage CPQ, leverage NetSuite CRM, be able to leverage that throughout their Salesforce automation, everything. Be able to connect with the website, to be able to, like I said, to embed that CPQ directly to consumers. But I think one of the coolest things is actually how it connects with the manufacturing modules. And so being able to actually take that completed sales order, be able to take the bill of materials and the routings and everything and give that right to the line to go make versus someone having to manually input all that information. So you could actually get started on the line a lot quicker. Hopefully get stuff out.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially in the world that we're living in today, where everybody is expecting their stuff to come quicker than ever before. That's incredibly crucial.
Right.
So, what does the future hold for NetSuite CPQ?
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously now it can get even sweeter.
Oh, we love that here on NetSuite TV.
So that's what it's about, right? It's about extending to suite projects, suite billing, all these other areas we never got into. But to Austin's point, it's about creating that cohesive experience. So what you want from CPQ is you want somebody to be able to enter a sales order, and then you want to be able to ship it out, and all the supporting documents that come with something you buy in manufacturing. Warranty information, spec sheets, diagrams, all that stuff. CPQ provides all that automatically. Bills of materials, routing steps, costings. So with CPQ, you should be able just to click through that and then have all that stuff automate. And that's going to require a lot of work with us and the other NetSuite teams to make sure that we touch all the other areas of the system and create all the other records that are needed.
Well, great segue. Where can people go find out more about NetSuite CPQ?
Yeah, we got CPQ everywhere, it seems. So we actually have NetSuite CPQ set up at the demo grounds here to kind of do a personalized demo. We have several sessions in the agenda and everything, and so definitely be able to see it in action.
Nice.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for joining us.